I can't see nothing.
Ghost dog.
Jack Skeleton over here. I can't see anything. Race car spelled backwards is still race car. This is the Race Car Spelled Backwards podcast. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Brad, and with me, as always, is Jamie, and this is episode 81. Happy Halloween, Jamie. Right?
That's my name.
Happy Halloween.
Oh, you want me to use my AKA Herman Henneman?
Well, I just thought you'd just respond back in some capacity. You just looked at me. I say Happy Halloween. You look at me like I'm stupid.
I thought you were a hardcore Christian. Don't you guys worship Satan on Halloween?
Worship Satan?
Yeah, isn't that what you do?
No.
You Baptist people?
Halloween is about candy and dressing up and
Love?
Grace? Love of candy.
Grace?
Grace of candy.
Grace of sugar?
We say grace on Halloween for our candy. That's why I wore my Pretend I'm a Ghost t-shirt today.
Do you think an Old Testament church leader would allow Halloween to happen?
You know, I only know one of those, and I don't think I'm going to call and ask.
And he calls himself a Christian, so he's not Jewish.
I don't know. I think that says on the back of his truck, I think it says, I love Jesus.
Oh, yeah, that could be. Subcontractor of his?
Maybe.
Yeah.
His favorite. No, it's Halloween, man. I love Halloween. Halloween used to be my favorite holiday, period. Like, it was just, I loved decorating for Halloween. I loved not necessarily dressing up. I was never big into costumes when I was little, maybe, but.
You see my costume? I'm grunge.
You're grunge, yeah.
I'm Gen X.
Gen X.
Which isn't really a costume. I used to wear this back in the day.
It's kind of like a millennial t-shirt, though. I would think. So I don't know, man. I think it looks good.
You know what my problem is with this shirt?
I'm digging what you're wearing.
I think I found out it was a country shirt.
Yeah. No doubt.
I didn't know it was Blake
Shelton.
Shelton?
Yeah.
It's kind of feminine now.
Well,
isn't it?
Maybe. So
or guys
are
really
you going for Halloween? You're going as feminine?
A grunge country fan.
A grunge feminine country fan.
I identify as
today.
Well, how can I put this? And I'm not trying to be political. I identify as a neutral gender country fan.
Gender neutral?
Sure, whatever.
That's how you say it at Old Navy.
Oh, well.
Gender neutral.
Huh. Well, you must be watching shows for younger people because I'm watching NASCAR and it's all about Peronis and stuff. I forgot my carrot.
I wore my...
and my squash.
I got my Jack Skeleton Christmas hat on, too, for Halloween.
You know what this is? If you watch...
That's your hat from 1996?
1990. Yeah. Or 91 or 92. My wife bought it in Peru in the mountains.
Were y'all married?
I don't remember. She used to travel a lot for a job, but if you watch the Spin Doctors, remember them?
Yeah.
If you watch their videos, he wears his hat on like 3 videos. The exact hat, except he has little pom-poms at the end of his tassel.
Did you cut your pom-poms off?
No.
It never had pom-poms?
No.
Mine did. So my Jack Skeleton one had like roped pom-poms on it. I got this in Disney years ago. And it had pom-poms on it, but I cut it off. I didn't like them.
They seem to support Satanism.
Disney?
Yeah.
They do.
They're all about witchcraft and stuff.
Yeah. So, what's your favorite Halloween movie? We were about to talk about this before the show, but we didn't get into it.
So, my youngest son and I watched Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. It was my favorite when I was a kid because it wasn't that scary. And unfortunately, movies from the 1930s don't even for me, they don't relate to 2020s. So, it's no longer my favorite.
I think my favorite Halloween movie is Hocus Pocus. The original.
What about Halloween?
I liked Halloween, but my favorite Halloween was the Rob Zombie version. The first Rob Zombie Halloween, when it kind of went back to Michael's childhood. That was my favorite Halloween movie. I'm not a horror movie fan. Like, I like horror movies, but they're in a different context, like House of a Thousand Corpse, Devil's Reject. Devil's Rejects is one of my favorite movies all time. But I like Rob Zombie's music and I like Rob Zombie's movies. So I like the horror movies that aren't jumpy. Like, I think we've had this discussion. Don't jump scare me. I hate to be scared.
See, I like the jump scares.
No, I absolutely hate it. I like the gore, like this could really happen stuff. Like Devil's Rejects and House of a Thousand Corpse, that could happen.
Saw could happen.
Saw could happen. Yeah.
That's the scariest part about
I
Saw.
like the Saw movies.
I like Saw movies.
Not all of them, but I like
If we're going to go to like modern, like made after 1950, I'm going with Freddy Krueger 1 through 3.
I don't know that I've ever seen those.
They're awesome.
That's just being real. I don't know that I've ever seen any of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I'm sure I have as a kid. Like, it was a big thing in like Friday the 13th and Halloween when I was a kid. Like, every TV station played the Freddy Krueger movies, the Michael Myers movies. All those movies were played. Like,
Chucky was good.
I didn't like Chucky. I never liked.
Because you didn't like baby dolls after that?
No, I never liked them. It just wasn't my thing. It was, to me, Chucky was more jump scare than
Yeah, exactly.
gore. I know, like, you like jump scare, I like the gore. It's complete night and day. So
Well, you usually get a little bit of gore with the jump scare.
a little bit. I want more gore, less jump scare.
So you're like Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Good movie, yeah. Not a bad movie at all.
Even the remake wasn't that bad.
I mean, you've seen House of a Thousand Corpse, right? And Devil's Rejects?
I like Rob Zombie. He's actually from my time period.
Yeah. White
Yeah.
Zombie.
White Zombie.
Now he's Rob Zombie, who still does White Zombie songs. You know, none of those guys had, like, when they...
Wasn't his brother in White Zombie?
No.
No?
I don't think he has a brother.
You know he has a PhD from MIT?
He's an extremely smart guy. But do you know that when White Zombie was formed, the drummers, the bass, the guitar players, their ability to play an instrument was mediocre at best?
Kind of like Motley Crue and Kiss?
Yeah. Kiss, I think, knows how to play an instrument, but Motley Crue, yeah. Tommy Lee is a phenomenal drummer. You can't take that away from Tommy Lee. Nikki Sixx, I don't think on their new tour, rumor has it Nikki Sixx didn't even turn his bass on. He just had bass tracks playing, which, I don't know. I used to really like Nikki, but as he's gotten older, he's really became more of a douchebag. So,
And their guitar player is 100 years old with some bizarre disease.
yeah, I really like Mick. Mick's a cool dude.
No, Mick Mars seems cool.
And
I thought it was an act. He's
actually
like
a
dead
good-
white, but that's just his skin tone.
yeah, he's actually a pretty good guitar player too.
He's like older than those guys.
Vince
though.
Neil, I don't think has the capability of singing a song.
Vince Neil, I've seen him live multiple times.
I have
Vince
too.
Neil's a great studio singer.
Yeah, because
However,
you can
they
adjust,
doctor
you
his
can
stuff.
adjust it to make it sound good, but on stage it sounds like when he's singing a song, he don't even know what he's saying. It's like, speed,
Actually,
kick start my heart, kick start.
he does better when the crowd sings.
Yes, the louder the crowd is,
The
and
better the concert.
100%.
Sad.
You
but-
know the songs. That's the good thing about a Motley Crue concert is you probably know every single song they're going to sing.
Hey, I'm dogging on them. I love Motley Crue.
I've probably seen Motley Crue. I saw Motley Crue 3 times in 1 year.
I've
So,
seen them 3 times in my whole life. Once they were the opening band for Ozzy.
That was
probably- like
I would
early
say
90.
I would say 6 or 7 times is when I've seen them. I've never seen them as an opening act though. I saw them Red, White, and Crew, Carnival of Sins. At the Carnival of Sins tour, I saw Red, White, and Crew, and then they came back to Columbus. That was in Atlanta. Then I went to Columbus, Georgia, and saw them on the Carnival of Sins tour, and then I saw them again in Atlanta on Carnival of Sins tour in 1 year.
So beyond, we both have agreed other times on this podcast, Kiss is the best show you can go see. Doesn't matter
Right on.
what genre,
100%.
country, whatever. Wear earplugs, go see Kiss. They're getting kind of older. I haven't seen them in 20 years,
Well, they're done. They've retired.
but everybody comes out of retirement when they want money.
They've done that a few times. I think they're
Yeah, I
like-
saw them on their first
I've seen
last
them.
tour.
I've seen them on 2 farewell tours and on 1 reunion tour. So
But beyond them, best band you've seen live.
Metallica.
I agree. Metallica.
Metallica is tight, man.
They are
Like,
amazing live.
you want to talk about perfection? It is almost perfect when they play live. They do sound check and rehearsal for hours before a show because they're not drinking no more. They're not alcoholics.
They want you to hear them the way they recorded.
100%. And I heard James Hetfield, as arrogant as he can be, he said, our concerts aren't cheap, so we want you to feel like you get your money's worth 100% from our show. And I've paid good money to see Metallica live. And every time I feel like I've left with a better appreciation for Metallica.
They are. AC/DC puts on a great show.
Never seen AC.
They're just a step below Metallica.
I'll tell you another good show. It's because of Halloween, makes me think of it.
That's kind of where.
Was
Have
Marilyn
you noticed
Manson.
all these bands are kind of like great for
Metal.
Halloween?
Oh, yeah. Marilyn Manson.
Iron Maiden's a good show.
Oh, Iron Maiden's going on tour in 2024.
They're 20 years older than me. They're 30 years older than you.
40.
What is that freaking show going to be like?
Oh, Sharon! Feel like Ozzy trying to tour right now. No, Marilyn Manson puts on a great live performance, theatrical show. Alice Cooper, another great theatrical show. I mean, I
saw him when I was a kid, and that was it. He was awesome.
Cut his head off, the snake. I mean, I've seen it all. I think Marilyn Manson, to me, was a modern-day Alice Cooper as far as his live performance. Now, I saw Marilyn Manson many, many years ago. I don't know that now, as a 39-year-old man, I could go to a Marilyn Manson concert and enjoy it like I did at 20 years old.
It's kind of like seeing Rodney James Dio when I was in my 40s.
Yeah.
I was like, hold it. Based on my beliefs, did I just not notice this in 1989, or
100%? That's how.
Or was he always this way?
That's how I feel about Marilyn Manson. Like, oh, I was at the Atlanta concert where he dropped his nutsack on the security guard's head. Security was being a butt to all the crowd, and Manson walked up and just teabagged him. Dude was bald. Security guard was bald. Just dropped him right on his forehead or top of his head.
I saw Dio.
That security guard's going to wish he'd have been paying attention to what was going on stage and not in the crowd. But he did sue and he did win.
Well,
he made some money off
that
of
happens. I saw Dio at the Sanctuary.
Sanctuary? Where's that at?
Atlanta. DC? No, what's the one in D.C.? Isn't it the Sanctuary?
In D.C.?
No, it was in Atlanta.
The Omni?
No, I saw
Tabernacle.
Tabernacle, that was it. I saw him at the Tabernacle.
Dio. I saw Manson.
In my 40s. I don't remember this happening when he was like playing stadiums. And maybe I couldn't afford a seat close enough. But it was general admission, no seats. You're just standing there. I was right up at the stage and a prop door opened up, trap door. And they had fake fire coming up while he called up demons. And I was like, okay. Did this happen when I was 17? I don't remember.
I think what it is as a teenager or a younger kid, younger man.
You're all drunk and heavy metal. So and then you're sober when you go in your 40s.
I saw Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson tour together on the Twins of Evil tour. I saw Rob Zombie at Ozfest. I saw Manson at Ozfest. And as Manson and Rob Zombie probably 5-6 years ago did a Twins of Evil 2 tour. And I wanted to go, but I couldn't. I like Manson's music I used to enjoy, but I'm not an angry 18-year-old kid anymore. So I can't get into his music. And, you know, when I saw Rob Zombie at Ozfest, he had like 666 flaming up on the stage. I mean, that's shock rock. In my opinion, Rob Zombie, Marilyn Manson, Alice Cooper.
Even Iron Maiden.
Dio, that's shock rock. Like, what's the other one is King Diamond.
Oh, I forgot about King Diamond.
These guys are shock rock. You're going to remember them not necessarily because of their music, but because of the things they do. Like Rob Zombie, Marilyn Manson, Mechanical what was that? Mechanical Animals, his album was, where he had the fake boobs.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, it's shock rock.
Now that would be normal.
Yeah, he couldn't get away
What
with
does
it
he
now.
do next?
I don't want to know.
Actually have human sacrifice?
Maybe.
Because he's done everything else. He's probably already done that at home.
I don't know that I don't know what he's like.
Do you think
I tried to read his book and I couldn't even get into it. It was kind of dark.
He's supposedly the bishop of the Church of Satan. Do you think that's true or just publicity?
I think it's publicity. He supposedly had his lower ribs removed so he could
be a woman.
Well, he could,
because God already took those away from him,
so he could kiss his own man parts.
Ooh,
yeah. So that's a rumor that goes around about him.
I think being a rock star, you get someone else to kiss your man parts.
You would think,
but this day and age, I don't know.
All right, enough talk about man part kissing. This episode is 81. We want to say thank you to Brian in Florida. We appreciate you listening every week. I do know Brian plays the show at his shop, so everybody that works with him can hear us. So,
well, that's cool, Brian.
So thanks, Brian. We greatly appreciate you, man. Thanks for listening. We are a day late. I apologize for that.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, not my technical difficulty. Like, I was supposed to fly home Sunday night or Sunday.
Maybe you shouldn't have flown Dumpster Fire Airlines.
It wasn't just our airline delayed though. Like, there was Delta, United, and Frontier flights all were delayed on Sunday. We were supposed to land back in Atlanta at like 7 p.m., I think, something like that. We didn't end up getting back to Atlanta till 6 a.m. It sucked. Like, if you've ever been delayed 8 hours at an airport, our rental car had to be turned in at 6 p.m. We knew that morning. Like, I remember I texted you first thing that morning, Sunday. I'm like, my dang flight's been delayed already. See, I told you this is why I don't fly. But
I'm flying to our meetings in Florida.
I'm driving.
I'll beat you.
I doubt it. I'm leaving.
Your negativity on airlines,
it's not my fault,
caused it for all airlines flying out of Buffalo.
No, it wasn't my fault, man.
I've told you, when you feel anger, tap your third eye 33 times. Not angrily.
I did.
You're supposed to think good thoughts.
I was bashing
the opposite can happen too. If you're going, then you're just gonna bring up the devil. You want God to come through the eye tap.
We got there. We got to New York just fine. No issues flying up there. Plane left 2 minutes early. We landed 10 minutes early. We made good time. We was drafting or something. I don't know.
Drafting. I think you have a tailwind because usually the wind's going west to east, and it's slower coming west.
Well, we went to upstate, or let me rephrase it. We went to Western New York. Can't say upstate because
upstate's Albany.
Yeah, upstate's right above the city. No, we were in Western New York in Buffalo. My wife, that's where her family's all from. Her grandparents getting up there in age, so we went and spent a few days with them.
Didn't your wife's family, tell you who you root for in the NFL now that you've been married for a while?
Now that I'm a Bills fan now. I'm married into it.
He didn't have an option.
I didn't even know that. I didn't know it, but apparently I'm a Bills fan, and hey, I'm okay with it. We watched the Bills play Thursday night. They won. So, hey, you know what?
Good for your wife's family.
Yeah, I need a team to pull for in the NFL. I'll go Bills. So go Bills. I can be part of the Bills Mafia. I can get behind that. So I'm going to start watching the Bills play. Now that I've been married into the Bills Mafia, I'll just watch the Bills play. So
we had a company picnic at a Falcons game.
Yeah.
Just 2 weeks ago. And, it was a great idea, but personally, it's better experience on television.
That's kind of how most sports are for me nowadays.
NASCAR's better live, though.
You say that, but Bristol was cool because we were there.
Xfinity was the best race.
Well, yeah,
in my opinion.
We're going to talk about that. But
Bristol? We already talked about Bristol, Brad.
No, I mean Xfinity being a better race.
Getting some Alzheimer's or something.
Huh?
Old-timers disease.
Old-timers?
Yeah.
So, no, while we were in New York, like I said, we didn't really do anything. We literally just hung out at the grandparents' house. And I love my wife's grandparents. They might as well be my grandparents.
So you converted to Bills fans, totally.
I'm a Bills fan, yes.
Okay.
We had a Honda Accord, a 2023 Honda Accord. Dude, it has sport mode in it and the paddle shifters. I love that car. Like, That's my next car. Maybe not a 2023 because I won't buy a brand new car, or maybe next year I will.
Is that still going to be a COVID car, 2023?
I think as long as you get 21 or newer, you'll be all right. I think anything after 2020 is a COVID car, though.
I would think. Didn't they still have problems 21 and 22 getting parts?
21 they did. 22 was
They were just making the cars without computers and shipping them to abandoned stadiums?
Yes. But they got the chips in eventually, so I don't think they – I mean, that Honda Accord was nice that we have for our rental car. I had fun in it, like a lot of fun. And up in western New York, there's no hills. Everything's flat. Everything's boxed out in squares. So you could see for like 3 miles. Speed limit's 55 everywhere you go, except everybody runs 80.
Well, that's stupid.
I was running with everybody else.
Well, that's
I was
what
going
would
so
do,
fast at one point in time, playing with my paddle shifters there. I looked down, I'm like, oh, wow, I don't want to get a ticket. So I had to pull
think
over and let
that's
the guy behind me go because I was doing like 75 and a 55. And
I think upstate New York and western New York gets screwed by New York City.
oh, no doubt.
Because nobody has cars in New York City. You can't have a car. It's $100,000 for a parking spot. And they sit there and vote on laws
They get screwed
for the
sure.
rest of the state that
Yes.
screw them.
Exactly.
And
I
they're a
mean,
majority.
you gotta be on a waiting list in New York to get your concealed weapons permit, and it's not easy. I mean, it's years long process. You can't even
Well,
buy.
do they hope you commit a crime during the time you applied? And
You
later?
can't even buy ammo. You have to put your name on a list to buy ammo in New York. Like, look, we pay cash in Georgia. There's no record for it. We pay cash for guns in Georgia. There's no record. I mean, look, it's completely different. The gun laws are so
I don't know. I
different.
bought a gun at Bass Pro Shop. It took like 2 hours.
There's a record.
Special forms and
What's online now?
I mean, I walked out with a gun.
Yeah, I mean, you get it that day.
Well, it was a spontaneous purchase.
You need to buy like you need to pre-order a gun in New York so when you get one, it's the newest version of it.
So, 3 years before, I want this
Yes.
Marlin 22 they're going to release in 5 years. I read about it in Guns and Ammo.
Yes.
Do you have to have a license to read Guns and Ammo in New
Yes.
York? That makes sense.
I don't even think they have Guns and Ammo magazine in New York.
Oh.
Now my grandfather out there, he's got some pretty cool shotguns he was showing me. So he does have some cool guns. Well, at least one cool gun. But that I got to see.
Did you shoot at anybody?
No.
That's good, because that's what
No,
you're,
he's
not,
got, like-
you're not supposed to shoot at anybody.
He's got like 55 acres.
What about old cans? Did you go out
No.
and shoot those?
No.
Why not?
It was beautiful weather. We went to Letchworth State Park, which is right there where they live at, and I got to experience my first real fall. I've never, like in Georgia,
Oh, our leaves will change in about another 3 weeks.
in Georgia yesterday was 82 degrees, and today it's like 60. Tomorrow, we're under a freeze warning for tonight,
Yeah, it's a high of
but that's our fall.
55 tomorrow.
Our fall means it goes from 80 to 30. That's fall. It falls way down. In New York, there was like multiple colors of trees, like many colors. I've never seen such bright yellows in trees in fall time. Yellow, orange, red. I mean, you had all these fall time colors. That's the first time I've ever seen it in my whole life. We don't get it. We do have some leaves that change color in the South, but they're usually on the ground by the time they change colors.
My wife and kids went to our place in Maine in August.
Yeah.
Well, we left 105 degrees here in Georgia. We were wearing
60.
shorts, didn't bring any long sleeves or jackets.
Cold.
Like 62 high of the day and below
Ooh.
freezing at night. It's been a long time since I'd been there, so I'd forgotten.
Honestly, I would love for our grandparents in New York to just let us have their property or sell it to us because they got a nice. My wife's called it a creek since we got married. To me, a creek is this. A creek is a few.
Oh no, it can be 50 yards wide.
Yeah,
Creek.
to me, a creek in Georgia, a creek is 3-4 feet wide.
One step, you get
can
over it.
jump over a
Yep.
creek in Georgia.
Actually, I used to do it on my dirt bike.
Yes. In New York, up in Western New York, apparently a creek is what we refer to in Georgia as a river
Yeah, it's like the
or a
Flint.
stream.
The Flint here.
Yeah, it's knee deep, waist deep is a river, not ankle deep is
Hey,
a
you
creek.
could generate your own power, dude.
You could.
Get a water wheel.
That's what I told my wife. I said I want a house.
You can be off the grid.
I want to build a house back here by the creek. We can have solar panels, and we can have a water wheel,
power.
and you could have wind. It's very windy in Western New York, so
It's because there's no hills.
that's what I'm saying. And coming off those lakes, I mean, you got Ontario and Erie right there.
What disturbs the wind? The
The-
high rises in Buffalo, Detroit, and Chicago. That's about it.
That's it. The creek that I'm referring to on my grandfather's property, it's fed by the Erie Canal.
Oh, that's cool.
So the water's coming from Erie, Lake Erie. It's cold water. We touched the water. I dipped my hand in it. It wasn't that cold, but I mean, it's glacier fed water. Like the lake, we went up to Ontario. We drove about, which is Lake Ontario is literally maybe 10 miles from their house. So we went to the lighthouse on the lake and got to, just look at. To me, it's amazing. Looking at the Great Lakes is amazing. I've seen Erie and I've seen Ontario, and it's the darkest, deepest blue I've ever seen. It's just a beautiful blue. It's like a crayon blue, and you can't see across it. Maybe at night you might be able to see some lights flickering over in Canada, but you couldn't see across it when we were there Saturday. We rode up to the lake Saturday, which Saturday was a cool.
I don't like those lakes up there.
Why not?
Well, when I was at
They're
Michigan
great.
State,
They're great, man.
went down there. Being from Georgia, it was a hot day. It's like, oh man, we were at a state park. I'm going swimming. I jumped in there. That water's cold, dude.
It's glacier water.
That's some cold stuff.
That comes off the
I couldn't make love to a woman for a year after that. I had to let that thing fall out.
it went inside and stayed.
Yeah, it crawled up the old belly.
Went in the belly button. So,
Maybe that was a sex change.
let's Matthew Perry. I know you're a fan of the Friends show. I've never
Well,
really
yeah.
watched it, but
I'm grunge. You're kind of grunge right now.
pretend I'm a ghost is grunge.
We could jump in your tub
That's-
over there and
that's
pretend
for
like
Ryan- That's the Ryan
it's the
Blaney.
fountain.
That's the Ryan Blaney bathtub. And luckily, neither one of us are Blaney fans, so we don't have to get in the bathtub together.
We can. Ow! I injured my hand again. Working on a damn car.
Dang car.
Dun 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 dun.
Something like that.
You'll be missed.
I've watched.
There will not be a reunion.
I've watched Friends because my wife was a huge. She loved Friends. She watched all the episodes. So back in the day, I think we kind of talked about it before the show started. When we talked about Matthew Perry. I'm not a fan of 30-minute sitcoms. I didn't watch Seinfeld. I didn't watch Friends. The
Being
only
OCD, a 30-minute sitcom should be your go-to.
no, I do like 30-minute shows, as in The Simpsons.
Well, that's comedy. That's sitcom.
Rescue Rangers. Chip and
South
Dale,
Park.
South Park. I didn't watch South Park till this year.
Really?
Yeah, you turned me on to it. I started watching South Park after the Cannonball Run. I knew what South Park was. Heck, I even had the game on PlayStation, but I never had watched the show. I wasn't allowed to watch it when it came out. My mom and dad were like, no, you couldn't handle The Simpsons, so you definitely can't handle South Park. I was the kid that watched The Simpsons and went and told my grandmother to eat my shorts the next day. So I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons. I'm surprised they let me watch Home Alone. My grandmother owned a daycare, and when I was a kid, I was hanging outside on the daycare playground, and she was making everybody come inside for nap time. And
Did you have to go inside?
Well, I did, but my grandmother was screaming for me because I was hiding. She's like, "Where are you at?" I remember jumping up on the picnic table, and I go, "I'm over here, you big horse's ass," like from the Home Alone movie. So I'm really surprised my parents let me watch anything, actually. But
Did you get your grandma with a can of paint and a string?
no,
No?
my grandmother was fast, man. She's kind of a bigger lady, but I could never outrun her. I'd take off running when she was going to whip me because my grandmother whipped me like every day. And I probably did. And actually, I know I deserved it. I just told you I set him over here, you big horse's ass. So, yeah, I deserved every whipping I got. But I would take off running. My grandmother wore these Keds plastic shoes that you get at Payless. She would take off her shoe, throw it across the yard, hit me, knock me down, grab a switch off a tree, and then whip me.
That's the OG croc, dude.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. But my grandma, a croc would hurt. Getting hit with a croc would hurt. Getting hit with that Keb was just enough to knock the wind out of you so you couldn't run no more. So I learned real quick, don't run from grandma. But no, Matthew Perry passed away over the weekend. You know, thoughts and prayers go out to all his friends and family.
Friends.
Friends, yeah, friends and friends. Friends of friends.
Well, if you work with someone for like 10 years, you're pretty tight.
And
that's
10 seasons?
10 seasons.
I don't know, he did other movies, I assume.
Oh, he had one with Maya Sayak or whatever her name is. It's pretty cute back in the 90s. He did a couple of hits.
Did he?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
That's because you were a baby boy then.
I know who he is, but no, like I said, thoughts and prayers go out to him and all the fans and friends. You know, you lost a good one, I guess. I don't know much about him.
Well, I wasn't like an actual friend of him. I was a viewer, a fan, I would say.
So when I was reading the headlines, it said one of them was a Florida woman in Ocala was arrested after she was found driving a stolen sweeper truck, according to the sheriff's department.
That's pretty stupid.
She stole this truck in Sumter County, and law enforcement spotted her 40 miles away in Ocala.
Well, she's in a sweeper truck.
But
pretty easy to see.
How do you go 40 miles in a street sweeper truck before you get caught? Like, the deputies tried to pull her over, and this is literally the article says, Sheriff's Department deputies attempt to pull over the lady, and she evades police on a high-speed chase. She's in a street sweeper truck. How do you speed away? This thing, I looked it up.
A garbage truck would have been more incognito.
Max speed for this thing's like 25 miles an hour. At first, when I read the article, I ain't gonna lie, I was dying laughing when I read the article because I thought when I saw sweeper, the only thing I pictured in my head was the Zamboni thing.
They kind of look similar.
That's what I was picturing was a lady stealing a Zamboni taking off. But
that's because you just came from Buffalo.
Probably. But it wasn't. It was a street. I can't even say it. That's like a tongue twister.
Street sweeper.
Street sweeper. Street. See?
Well, that's tonight is sweet sweeper.
Street
sweeper. I can't even. Now I'm doing it.
Must be a dyslexic thing. No, but deputies tried to pull her over and she sped away, leading them on a high-speed chase that lasted, get this, 4 minutes.
I'm going to have to go get
She
candy.
evades the police, and 4 minutes later, she gives up peacefully, screaming for a lawyer, saying, "You got me, and it's over."
I want my lawyer.
You got me. You got me. I stole the sweet sweeper.
There are no lawyers available in Florida.
They're not?
Donald Trump has hired them all.
I've heard more about Trump than I ever want to hear.
Oh, well.
I'm done with Trump for a while. I need a Trump break.
I think he's going to go to jail from opening his pie hole.
I don't think anything anymore. They all need to be locked up, in my opinion. At this point, let's lock them all up. Trump, Biden,
let's start over.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't had a good president since George left.
Well, I ran
George Washington, that is. Don't get me confused. It's not one of the Bushes I'm speaking of.
At Quaker Church, I ran to the first discussion of politics at the potluck afterwards. Because you know we don't speak at Quaker Church.
Do y'all have Quaker oats at potluck?
I thought it'd be funny if I just brought some.
The container?
Yeah. And bring oatmeal cookies made out of it?
Yes.
Let them know I use the OG.
Buy oatmeal cream pies. Dump out the Quaker oats. Open all the oatmeal cream pies and put them in the Quaker oats
in the
container.
tube.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then just put it there and you reach in and grab a cookie. That's what you should.
I'm at potluck and the guy said, "Hey, I mean, we sit there in silence, thinking of Jesus and God."
And he's talking to you, you're like, "What are you done talking about?"
I'm a picky eater.
Yes.
Right? I got, if you killed an animal in front of me, I don't eat that animal.
What?
Chickens.
What if they killed a cow in front of you?
I've seen that happen, but it was being processed. I knew that they were dying.
So if you ran over something, you wouldn't pick it up and eat it?
No, I don't eat possums or squirrels.
Not possum. I wouldn't eat a possum. Squirrel meat's good, though.
I've eaten deer.
Deer is very good. I would rather have deer over cow.
I like deer jerky. It's better than beef jerky.
Never jerked a deer.
Well, I'm sure it's quite similar when you jerk yourself.
I've never had deer jerky.
I forgot even where I was headed with this. Jerking deers.
I'm sorry.
I think you can only
I
jerk
threw
a
you off-
buck.
I threw you off there.
I think you can only jerk a buck.
That's offensive to does. What if the doe wants to be jerked?
You use a finger?
Oh my God.
I don't know.
This is my fault. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
I apologize.
Let's go back to Florida people. And not Donald.
You were talking about deer jerky.
Not Donald.
You've had deer
I
jerky.
remember. Potluck at Quaker
It's
Church.
potluck. Y'all didn't have
This
deer.
dude said, just out of the blue, where do you affiliate politically? I said, I'm a conservative.
It's none of your
And
opinion.
he's like, so you support Donald Trump? I said, no, I'm a conservative. And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, conservatives used to be, let's save money and not have a deficit.
Yeah.
I said, there's no politician that is that way, regardless of party at this point. They're done.
Correct.
He said, so what are you? I said,
Jewish.
well, I do support the Jews.
I'm Quaker.
Well, you know what?
I'm
There's
Quakish.
some Christians in Israel. I stand with Israel, if there's any question.
Oh, yeah. No doubt. Me too. Thumbs up, Israel.
And I'm sorry for Hamas, but if
Yeah. we're
you
sorry.
go in and
Sorry,
just
hummus.
murder people based on them being Jewish or Israeli, if they bomb you into rubble, which it appears like they're doing,
Yeah.
maybe you shouldn't have done it. Like when your mom says,
Like,
don't
so you're
touch the cake until it's cooled off, I got to put icing on it.
so you're saying this is one of those mess around and find out moments.
Well, they're Old
Like,
Testament
You mess
people.
around with the cake, Mama told you not to touch.
You get a smack
you're
with
gonna
the
find out
spatula.
what happens.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with you, man. I'm with
And, the Old Testament's eye for an eye. It was Jesus that was like, grace.
Eye for an eye. Yeah.
And
Old school.
sorry, you knew it was coming.
Mess around, you find out.
And
Every
I got
time.
just a tinge. If you call Jewishness a
Jewish.
bloodline, I got just a speck in me. Enough for Hitler to
So-
cook me.
When you told the dude at Quaker Church that you were conservative, what did he say? We'll
He was
finish-
confused. I have a feeling he was a Democrat.
demo. I thought it was demon.
See, I wore a little American flag lapel pin.
I see that.
Well, not here. This is my supporting
Shirt.
transgenders.
Oh my God.
I thought you had to be a female like Blake Shelton.
I don't like Blake Shelton because he was married to Miranda Lambert. Was she crazy? We know why she crazy now. We all seen that side of her. But my problem with Blake,
He didn't support her mentally.
No,
I don't
he
think.
is married to. He's with Gwen Stefani now, and that's my problem because I thought Gwen and Gavin Rossdale from Bush, I thought they were going to be like the OG
Oh yeah, total.
married couple
Uh-huh.
and stay together, like because nobody stays together.
And she
in
was the
music.
queen of ska, which is
Yes.
so unrelated to country.
Yeah, and
And Bush, I don't know what you call it, post-punk, alternative,
grunge, alternative grunge.
post-grunge, I think. Well, they were a little bit after grunge.
That first Bush album, 16 Stones.
Fantastic.
I saw a thing where Gavin Rossdale said he would like to tour and do nothing but the 16 Stone album.
It's stones. It's a
16
weight measurement in England.
16 Stones?
It's not stoned.
It isn't?
Yeah, it's a weight.
Oh, I thought it's 16.
It's like 200 pounds or something.
I thought at 16 you got stoned. That was 16 Stones.
No, that was required for us
I
growing
thought
up
that-
in the South.
I thought that's what it meant, though. Wow. So it's a measurement?
16 stones. Yeah,
How much
Google
do you
it.
weigh? 16 stones?
It's like 200 pounds, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, didn't know that. Learned something new. But I saw a thing where he said he'd like to tour that whole album, and I would like to go to that tour. That is probably one of my favorite albums.
You know, Brad, I know you go to a lot of tours. I've looked at ticket prices.
Yeah, that's why I'm not going.
I ain't going to no tours
They need to get that crap under control, man.
because I am fiscally conservative with my own money.
well, I will
Just
say,
like I expect the government to be, I ain't paying over $100 per ticket.
okay, Godsmack is not that bad. We paid like $65, $70 for up front. I mean, we weren't front row, but we were in the first 10 rows.
Well, based on
see
inflation,
Godsmack.
that's probably the same as me paying 12 to 20 when I was a kid.
Now, I did read where Godsmack is wrapping up. They just wrapped up their U.S. tour. They're getting ready to do like a stripped down tour next year, probably January, February of next year, where it'll be theater shows. and they're going to do more of an acoustic. They're going to bring in additional musicians to play with them. They're going to do a lot of covers for Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd. They did it back in like 2004. They did a tour like that was kind of stripped down. So they're going to do something similar again, which I would go. I love Godsmack. There's one of my favorite rock bands.
Well, I looked up. My wife was.
Sully has a phenomenal
Remember
voice.
the band Everclear?
Yeah.
Stand out in the ocean and watch the world die.
Yeah.
My wife was into them,
Okay.
and I thought I'd do something nice for her. He's going solo with an acoustic guitar to small venues. I'm like, hey, she liked that band because we're grungers.
How much?
$360.
Dude, 360.
Luckily, I didn't mention it to her. I would have been painted in a corner. I have to spend that kind of money.
360 is what you pay for front row seats at a Kiss concert.
Well, he was, at the Tabernacle. Or
No, that's way too much, dude.
I was like, yeah, because I thought it was cool.
Somebody
there was
like
only
that-
going to be 800 tickets.
Yeah,
So I was like,
somebody like
120.
that. That's a $80 ticket.
Yeah, I'm thinking sub 100.
No. Also, in news last week, Kyle Larson and Brad Sweet, the owners of the High Limits Sprint Car Series,
Didn't
apparently
they buy that from Tony?
no, they
They
bought
something from Tony.
They bought the All-Star Circuit of Champions Sprint Series from Tony Stewart. I think that's a good move, man, because what Brad and Kyle did for wing sprint cars, they upped the ante. Like, Kyle Larson did not race at the Chili Bowl because of the winning purse for the Chili Bowl
crap.
last year. Guess what they did this year? They increased the purse.
Hey, who won the Vegas F1 race?
I don't know. When's that?
I think it was last weekend.
Dude,
Just
I'm so bored with F1.
Max won.
I'm sure.
Max won.
wins everything. No, I have no idea. I didn't watch it.
Wouldn't you like
I don't
to
watch F1. I can't get into F. I can't watch something that you know who wins 3 weeks before the race.
But they don't race every week. I would love for Max to come Xfinity racing.
Because he would suck. He can't.
How do you know?
Because Max ain't that good of a driver.
The Giz
Max is-
tore it up.
Max is
on a
just
street
in
course?
Max is in equipment. If me and you raced, let's say I'll race one-handed, and you can use both hands.
I only have one hand. Maybe I race one hand.
Okay, you race one-handed, I use both hands. I drive a Mini Cooper in the race, and you drive a Corvette. Who's going to win?
Well, if it's automatic, I think I will.
Okay, automatic.
Mhm.
Both cars are automatic. You're going to win.
I think I could
That
probably
is
beat.
exactly what F1 is.
I think I could beat you in my Porsche.
You have Max Verstappen
The
in a
76.
V8, and then you have the rest of the field driving hybrid Honda Civics. That is basically what you've done. You got Max in a Corvette and the rest of the guys in a Honda Civic. Max's car is going to top out at 200 miles an hour. The other guy's car tops out at 120. Who's going to win the race? I've played Forza where I was the fast car on a track with smaller, crappy cars. You always win in the faster
Is it
car
Forza or
wins.
Forenza?
Forza.
You sure it's not Forenza?
Positive.
Huh.
I've been playing that game for years, man.
So have I, but I always call it Forenza
It's Forza.
because it sounds Italian.
It's Forza. That was the game that originally started scanning the tracks before iRacing became popular. Forza was old school scanners. And to me, it's probably the best console racing game. I'm really hoping iRacing, now that they have the NASCAR game, it'll become the best console racing game, but we'll see.
I wish they would scan some. They would have to make it up completely, like a board track.
Oh, no doubt. Hey, Eric Almirola has officially announced he's retiring.
Yeah, that's news to us.
He said thank you to NASCAR. He
Thank
said
you to Smithfield and the-
Smithfield.
Chinese Communist Party.
Smithfield won't be back in the sport either.
But
Everybody-
I think they're planning on attacking Taiwan.
so they had to pull out.
Yeah, they need that money to buy missiles and
I think you're
jet
right.
fighters.
And Eric, he's probably going to be a propaganda expert for China now.
I think he's going to be reporting at the beachhead in Taiwan.
Well, rumor has it Noah Gregson's going to fill in for him in that car. Well, not fill in.
Take over?
Fill that spot.
That's good.
I mean, look, I like the fact that Noah's leaving. Going to be in that car. It hasn't been
The
officially
motorcycle
announced.
club are just so underperforming. They seem to be worse with them pushing out Petty. What
Well,
the heck?
I don't think Harsevo is going to fit very well. No, he's not. He's going to 77. Who's going to 42? Hunter. John Hunter. Perfect. John Hunter, Eric Jones.
They can wreck each other.
Well, they're they're nothing spectacular. They're very polished.
Well, yeah,
You know,
notice
JJ
Joe,
Jimmy wants that polished, clean, no
and
personality.
the Hunter guy, he doesn't believe in teams. You saw what he did to his teammate.
Oh,
Let's make
He
it
ain't a
only a
team player whatsoever.
25% chance that JGR wins a championship. Now it worked last year, same scenario, different drivers.
well, who you
But
think?
let's
He learned from
Ty.
Ty Jesus Gibbs.
Apparently, Joe Jesus Gibbs.
Yeah.
I'm only judging from the outside looking in. They don't practice what they preach.
Well, I just think these grandfathers, they're the grand. If you want to know how the grandfather is, you look at the grandkid. So
Well, look at how he handled the Bush situation last year.
yeah, JGR.
Apparently, he was lying the whole
Joe
time.
Gibbs and Ty Gibbs, same guy, same person.
Why don't you just tell Bush, we ain't got the money and we're not going to pay you what you're
Well,
asking?
it's the same with Richard Childress, Richard and Austin Dillon.
But the breakup's his problem.
Richard hasn't. We're going to talk about that here in a second. So, I mean, definitely going to talk about that.
He's like a scorned lover, old Richard.
Yeah, but
It's going to be ugly
let's
when Bush retires.
Let's talk about it now. So Justin Allgaier wins the race at Martinsville on the last lap, coming out of turn 4, wins the race because Sheldon Creed and
the other
Austin Hill,
non-team team.
the teammates, they got into it. I have no problem with what Sheldon Creed did.
He was racing to get into the 4.
And he raced him clean, in my opinion. I mean, he moved him, he bumped him, but he didn't wreck him. Wrecking him is I have a problem when drivers
I don't have a problem with Austin Hill, though.
I don't either. I don't think Austin Hill raced him back. I mean, neither one. Austin Hill going over after the end of the race and clapping, way to go, number 2 team. The crew chief had nothing to do with what Sheldon Creed did on the track. The tire changer and the jackman had nothing to do with what
If you
Sheldon
have a
Creed did on the track.
teammate, that's how you should do it.
Austin Hill is perfect for RCR.
No, that's a
He
non-team
fits,
teammate.
but he fits the RCR mold of
And-
douchebaggery.
Dale Sr. didn't like teammates.
I don't think Dale Sr. was a douchebag, though. I think Richard Childress is. I'm sorry, RCR. Y'all have the best museum in NASCAR history.
Oh, it's
the
amazing.
RCR museum is cooler than
It's better than the Hall of Fame.
by far.
Worth every penny to go see their stuff.
But the way Richard Childress acts when a driver leaves his team, it's such an Austin Dillon thing to do.
His personality must be so overwhelming that
His
the
ego.
guys, when they leave, don't want to tell him because he's nuts.
So when Kevin Harvick left RCR, it was an ordeal. Richard had things to say, and they weren't happy with Harvick. Although
Harvick won 22 races for him.
when Harvick left and went to Stewart Haas, his winning percentage went way up
For a while.
for a while.
The last 2 years have been dumpster fires.
That's a
That's a
Haas
Ford
thing.
problem.
Yeah, that's not a Harvick
Actually,
problem.
there's some Fords in the top 4. I think you're right. It's a Stewart Haas problem.
Yeah, I think it's a Stewart Haas problem.
Because Brad's brought it up. They won 2 races too.
Yeah, and
His team, not
Blaney
him.
won 2 races.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it's not a
Didn't
Ford
Joey
thing.
win the first Atlanta race?
Joey's an idiot.
Well, we'll get to Joey because, yes,
He's an idiot.
he's stupid.
I don't.
He's a whole new kind of stupid, Joey is.
But I mean, so the Sheldon Creed thing happens, but we saw the same thing last year. Ty Gibbs, that was an overstep. He wrecked his teammate to win the race when he didn't have to win the race to make it in. He essentially knocked.
So there's a ghost
Halloween
outside the
ghost.
studio knocking. Holy smoking hootie.
Yeah, I mean, so what Ty Gibbs did last year and what Sheldon Creed did this year are 2 different things. Now, obviously, me personally, I'm a Dale Jr. a JRM fan. I like
It
Junior
worked out for
Motorsports.
us. Me too.
It worked out. I think Allgaier has the best shot of winning the championship.
But Dale Jr.'s team has been racing as a non-team most of the year.
All season.
All season.
Even Dale Jr. wrecked his own teammate when he raced.
And he's not a point racer.
He wrecked Josh Berry. So, but I'm glad it happened because Allgaier won the race. But Richard Childress said he's had a lot of drivers drive for him, but Sheldon Creed is the stupidest he's ever had drive for him.
Okay.
I don't know that I agree with that, but whatever.
Well, his grandson.
Exactly. That's what I'm
not
getting at.
not
I'm getting at
not
both
as-
of them. Both grandsons.
not Austin,
No, Austin's an idiot too.
but
I do not
Ty.
like. I do not like Austin Dillon.
Ty's a moron.
Yeah, heard it here first. Ty Dillon, dumber than Austin. Don't like either one of them.
Dumber than Sheldon Creed.
Those silver spoon kids, as Kevin Harvick called them, and Kevin was right.
Well, Kevin's gonna have a silver spoon kid coming up through the ranks.
Well, he said that before he had a silver spoon kid. So, but yeah, Kevin Harvick, when he left RCR, they weren't happy. When Clint Boyer left RCR, they weren't happy. When Tyler Reddick left RCR last year, Richard
dumpster fire.
Richard pouted. It's a bad time for him to be leaving.
Here's a backstabber.
We've already sold sponsorship on him next year. I can't believe he's leaving and going to Denny Hamlin's 2311 for a better opportunity. Shut up.
I'm going to drink a few more bottles of my wine.
Now, I will say this. The racing sucks in NASCAR Cup Series.
Cup is horrible.
But this is entertainment right here.
Well, we got to get it
RCR
somewhere.
dumpster fire is entertaining. Like, I have enjoyed watching it burn. Andy Petrie went on Sirius XM and tried to justify their stupid comments. It didn't help. It made y'all look dumber.
But look at who his boss is.
Exactly.
He had to defend
Like,
RCR,
I think you have to be a douchebag to work.
Or he's going to
race
tell
at
Andy.
RCR.
Or he'll go on the next end of Phoenix and go, well, you know, Andy's the dumbest employee I've ever had now.
I've had a lot of employees, but man, ain't
Uh.
nobody ever been as dumb as Andy.
That guy doesn't know how to fix a muffler bearing.
He must be drinking the number 3 wine.
Or Ritter Mercatus.
Something. So, no, I mean, it's just a bad look for RCR. But it doesn't surprise me. Like I said, I don't like Austin Dillon. Austin Dillon's a douchebag. I said it. I don't care.
Fuck that guy.
What he said. But, great. Now we're explicit again.
Cocksucker.
Way to go, Jamie.
Fucking cocksucker.
Like, you're just piling it on, aren't you? But no, I don't.
That's an ode to my old boss.
I don't like. I don't like Austin Dillon. Oh, and thanks for the shirt. I don't like Austin Dillon, and I'll wear the shirt next
Who
week.
are you thanking for your shirt? I just brought it to you.
Your buddies.
You can say it, Carmen,
Who said? I don't know who exactly.
Gino.
Yeah.
It's probably Carmen.
Well, thanks for the
See,
shirt.
he owns the bars.
Drinking beers and growing beards.
Yeah, you better wear it next week.
I'm wearing it next week. Today's Halloween, so I had to wear my Halloween shirt.
Well, tell me to hit you with a golf club next week if you're not wearing it.
Don't worry, I'll wear the shirt. I don't want to go off
Nothing
the
worse
rack.
than some Italian HVAC companies.
But
They call it mechanical up there.
I just think what Richard did is a bad look for RCR. Like,
I love him. He's entertaining. I think what he's saying is just
I don't hate.
he's a dick.
I don't hate Richard. I mean, he took his watch off to punch Kyle Busch 20 years ago.
It was a $30,000 watch. You probably ought to take it off.
Yeah, but he paid Kyle Busch more than that to come race for him.
I think it's gonna be ugly when Kyle retires.
Oh, it's going to be real ugly.
This is the wrong time. He's a dick.
I think they fight. They have a fist fight. So
With their watches on, that would be entertaining.
all right, so don't forget, sometimes crap, it does happen. And sometimes you need a plumber to fix it. In that case, we would call Danny Carden Plumbing, the official plumber of the Race Car Spelled Backwards podcast. The guys you call when crap happens. Justin Allgaier wins the race at Phoenix. He needed to win to get into the championship 4. So your championship,
I want him to be the champion.
your Xfinity championship 4 are Sam Mayer, Justin Allgaier, John Hunter, and Cole Custer. Who you got winning?
I'm going with Allgaier.
Me too. So we're both going with Justin Allgaier to win the Xfinity championship race.
Now we know the King of Beers
Dale Jr.
is going to say publicly,
There you go.
I am not going to tell the other drivers to do anything to assist Allgaier.
Dale, yeah, he's not.
But in the garage,
Well, he can't because he's got 2 drivers, Sam Mayer and Allgaier. But Allgaier,
he's got 2 drivers that aren't in it.
Justin runs good at Phoenix.
Block and slow down. That's what he's going to tell them. The 2 that aren't in it.
But Brandon Jones does that already every weekend.
Block and slow down.
Brandon Jones bought that ride and is yet to perform.
Well, his
in that
daddy
ride.
did.
Well, yeah, Daddy bought that ride and he has not performed it.
Well, Daddy hadn't
But
put
he's
the
coming
Ream
back
sticker
next.
on it.
He gets to come back next year because he
Excuse me for saying a
Bought that-
competitor's name.
bought that ride and didn't pay for it.
Sorry, Robert and
But-
Paul. I didn't mean to say the R word.
All right, the truck championship.
Dyken.
The truck
Does that even me
championship
out?
is Carson Hocevar, Grant Enfinger, Ben Rhodes, and Corey Heim. I would like Ben Rhodes to win it
I like
because of,
Ben Rhodes.
because of his interviews, but I think Carson Hocevar wins the truck championship this year. Who you got?
I'm going with Ben.
All right.
It's time for Ben to be aggressive.
I'm just glad we picked somebody different. And we'll give you our cup picks here in a minute. So, also, the Xfinity Series. I think, personally, and
Best
I think you'll
racing.
agree with me, I think the Xfinity Series has become the premier series of NASCAR.
In fact, in Atlanta, I want to go to the Xfinity race and not the Cup race.
The cup race in Atlanta is not bad.
Yeah, but I like Xfinity.
But
better.
I think I figured out the solution.
Get
Cup-
rid of the France family.
The cup races are good at the end, right? So let's make the cup races
Shorter.
Let's make them Xfinity length. In the Xfinity race, let's make it cup length.
Now let's keep them where they're at. Let's lower the laps or miles for the Cup.
And leave Xfinity. where it's at.
Why screw around with something that's working?
Okay, I'm with that. But the Xfinity race is entertaining from the drop of the green flag.
So is truck racing, but there's carnage. There's only 3 cars finishing the race.
But Fox
Or
has,
trucks.
Fox has completely screwed and destroyed the truck series for me.
Well,
Like,
I think they're.
I don't even watch the truck races anymore because Fox is that
I
bad.
think they have a plan to screw up Xfinity and Cup racing next year.
Well, Xfinity is going to be on the CW all season.
Yes, but NASCAR's providing
But
everyone, but the
you
host.
think NASCAR is gonna
The France family's
Right
all
up in the
about
basement.
enriching the France family. It ain't about racing with them. And that's
save
the
on
problem.
save on travel costs? Use that big, huge NASCAR production studio that they've spent all that money to build.
Once Big Bill
Yeah.
and Bill Jr. retired, it became
I'm just saying, let's
a
swap.
fight for the cash.
Let's swap. Let's run the Cup race on Saturday, the Xfinity race on Sunday. I think your viewership will go up. You got way more personalities in the Xfinity Series than the
Well,
Cup
I have
Series.
a solution.
You have better racing in the Xfinity Series than the Cup Series. The Bristol Xfinity race, great race. Great to watch in person. The Bristol Cup Series race, not so great to watch on TV or in person.
I have a solution. Our prior company, Dumpster Fighting Fire Heating Manufacturing, remember every quarter they made us go out, even if it hurt you financially as a salesperson, they'd make you fill up the barn. So you'd have no sales the first month of the next quarter. But because they had shareholders, the France family needs to spin off NASCAR on a public offering on the New York Stock Exchange.
They were public at one time and it didn't work out.
Just the race courses. Wasn't it just the race courses?
I thought NASCAR as a whole was public.
They need to go public again because when you have such a crap car as the current generation,
Accountability.
people are going to go, hey, the viewership's down. And then the corporate executives are going, holy shit, we need to make changes quick.
I don't know. I like my solution. Let's just run the Xfinity Series.
But we know the France family isn't going to listen to you, even though they should as a fan. We're the ones spending our money.
Well, they don't care about the fans.
Well, that's the problem.
NASCAR's proven over the years they don't care about the fans.
F1 cares more about their fans
Yeah,
than NASCAR.
So, agreed. Ryan Blaney ends up winning at Martinsville. Look, we knew by lap 100 who was going to win Martinsville. Ryan Blaney was the fastest car all day. As long as he got out front, he was good to go.
Yep.
It was hard to pass. Ryan Blaney was, I wouldn't be surprised if Ryan Blaney's car was cheated up. But
I want more cheated up.
I do too. I want him to cheat.
This
Let's
new
do
car
something.
sucks.
Entertain me is what I want. Ryan Blaney moving through the field yesterday, mildly entertaining. Jeff Gluck's poll, 79% said yes, it was a good race.
Man, I don't know if they watched the same race I watched.
I voted yes, it was a good race on the Race Car Spelled Backwards Twitter page. On my personal Twitter page, I voted no. I voted yes because basically I wanted Jordan Bianchi to win the poll thing with him and Jeff Gluck. Because
Make them wear some goofy clothes next year. At
and I
Daytona.
like Bianchi. Like Bianchi, he rubbed me wrong the first time I met him on the bus in Charlotte.
Hey,
Making fun of us podcasters.
and then I
But then
spoke
you-
up and said, hey, we're podcasters.
Yeah, and then he was nice to us after that. He kind of laughed it off and was cool with us. At the tweet up at Bristol, Me and my son hung out with Bianchi the whole time at the tweet up. I don't think Jordan cheated. I think what Jordan did was innovative. Jordan, he asked for some opinions. That's all he did. He didn't cheat.
Well, it's just his
He
sub
didn't rig the
poll.
poll.
It's a sub poll.
Yeah, I have no problem with what he did. So, because of that, I wanted to make sure he won the poll this week with his 75% guess. So I voted yes, it was a good race to contribute to Jordan Bianchi's win, which he did win, which means at this point, Jeff, you're probably wearing a leisure suit to Daytona, a wool leisure suit to Daytona. I'd actually make him dress up like Civil War attire. I think that would be funny.
Wool at Daytona?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty dang hot.
Well, you know it's coming. So, but I think, why do you think so many people thought it was a good race, though?
I don't know.
The race was boring. It was very uneventful.
Well, at the end, stage 3 was fine.
I think it was 100% sold out, but I really think that NBC did NASCAR a solid here. Because without NBC talking about the Final Four shakeup that went on the whole race,
Now,
I don't think you would have had any entertainment going on.
I have a criticism to NBC. I know they're way better than Fox, but to me, it felt like their broadcast has been lacking the last couple of races.
Well, all they've talked about is the playoff drivers, which I think is a problem. Like yesterday,
They used to show us racing mid-pack and back of the pack.
Eric Almirola finished second place at Martinsville. I didn't know that. I didn't know that until I actually printed the show notes for today. I didn't know he finished there because they didn't talk about him.
How about douchebaggiest Logano?
He just straight up dumped him, didn't he?
What about him and Hamlin? Okay, hey, douchebag, you're not in
Well,
the race. You're
but-
just out here as a marker, dude.
but
He
did his teammate a solid. Just like last year at
moron.
Phoenix, Ryan Blaney had a faster car,
Oh, Hamlin
Then
wasn't
they did.
gonna win.
but he blocked him. No, Hamlin was not going to
He
win.
might have made second.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. So our final four are set. We have Ryan Blaney, William Byron, Kyle Larson, and Christopher Bell going into Phoenix. Who do you have as your championship favorite, Jamie?
I feel like any one of the four could win.
I think it's a very boring top four. Kyle
You know,
Larson is the
we
most
always
exciting driver here.
We all get psyched up about the final race, and it always sucks.
Well, it's Phoenix. It's going to suck. So, yeah. But
Well, once again,
these
thanks,
drivers are
Ben
going to finish.
Kennedy.
They're going to finish 1, 2, 3, 4.
Is it next year?
They let them cheat.
Also,
They'll let these four drivers cheat their cars up. Whoever cheats the best is going to win at Phoenix.
aren't we going back to Phoenix next year?
Yeah, we go to Phoenix twice a year.
But everyone says it sucks. Is no one listening that owns NASCAR?
It's all about the money. It's not about us. It's about the money. They don't care about us. Like when you got to understand, it is what it is. NASCAR racing is what it is. This is the new NASCAR.
So I'm changing the first family of NASCAR's last name.
To what?
Well, France is too organized for them. It's
Kennedy's?
their last name's now Somalia.
No, I think
The car.
it's just garbage. I'm not a fan of this new
Dufour. I
car.
forget that other place where they are hungry.
Did you see the pace car breakdown?
Yeah.
That was funny.
It sure took them a long time to get out of the way.
Like,
Hello.
really? Just put it in neutral and push it.
I'm going to say maybe Joey was right when he was yelling at
Yes.
the tow truck
I am
drivers.
too.
Because they're a bunch of idiots.
That was a debacle. So, all right, final four. I got Ryan Blaney winning the championship. Who you got?
I'm going with boring, white bread, William Byron. I want Larson to win.
I tell you what, man.
You know what? I changed that. Larson. I'm going with my heart. My heart.
All right.
My heart says Larson.
Larson's either going to win it or really screw it up. What it's going to come
He's
down.
going to wreck or win.
It's going to come down to the final pit stop. Whoever's leading after the final pit stop is
'Cause
going
it's
to
a
win
crap
the race. 'Cause
race.
You can't pass in this car at this track.
Two of these guys are going to be mid-pack and stuck there.
I
They'll
think
never get out. They'll qualify. Bell will qualify shit.
Bell qualifies on the pole.
I say he qualifies shit. He's mid-pack and he's stuck because he has dirty air.
Okay. I think he qualifies on the pole and finishes fourth.
How about Truex's?
I think Ryan Blaney finishes first. Larson finishes third, William Byron second, Christopher Bell fourth. And
We
I
got
did that
it.
out of order on purpose.
We got to change the point system. Truex should have been out before the final 8.
All right, that's the question I have on here.
We need
If
change.
you could change the point system in this series to anything, what would you change it to? Would you get rid of the playoffs? What would you do? You right now, if Ben Kennedy called you and said, Jamie, you decide how we do the points next season. No questions asked. I won't complain. You make the pick. That's what we go
I'm going to
with.
give you a little advantage. And a car coming in without any playoff points is BS too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale it 0 to 6. Martin Truex has 6 playoff points. That's it. That's it. After him, they got 4, 2, 0.
Okay.
That's it. 0. If you are last in whatever cutoff, you get 0 points, but you're in.
So I think playoff points, you should get rid of them altogether.
Well, that would be preferable, but we're
Stage
dealing
points.
with the Somalia family.
You get to pick. That's what I just said. They have 0 input.
It should start at 0 for everyone. Like the season is over, done, we forgot about it.
During the playoffs.
During the playoffs.
So you would keep
Each
the playoffs.
level, we 0 it.
You would
yeah,
keep
I'm
the
going to
playoffs.
keep the playoffs. But we're
Okay.
going to 0. You're all even. We got X amount of races.
I say you go to 12 drivers. And you have 3 races, 3 races, 3 races.
Because in the
You
playoffs,
have 9 races. You have a 3-race. I like the idea of having a 3-race playoff final finale. You can keep it at Phoenix because they're going to, obviously, but you have a short track, as in Phoenix. You have a super speedway like Daytona, and then you have an intermediate like Kansas. So your last 3 races, not Daytona, we'll do Talladega. Your last 3 races should be Talladega, Kansas, Phoenix, or Atlanta, Kansas, Phoenix. I would be good with that.
I would.
That's 3 different styles of track.
If I was going to do it, I would have a double elimination. I would include more cars, 20. So,
There's not 20 competitive cars on the track.
doesn't matter. The points mean a little more for the regular season. 20 get in. We 0 out, right?
I think you get rid of winning, you're in.
The winners race a separate race. I'm going to add additional races. It's going to be like the NCAA basketball.
Sweet 16.
Yeah, I want 30.
No, I say you do.
16. Let's go to 16. Half of the people with charters.
Well, 16's how many drivers you got now?
I know, but we're going to double eliminate.
So 8 go out in the first
If
round?
you're not top 3, if you're not podium, you go to loser round after the end of the first set of races. The loser round's the next round. So we put some additional dates. We even send the losers to different tracks.
I'm so confused by what you're saying we should do. I would say we stick with what we got.
And then the champion of the losers pops back into the top 4. 1. The champion of the losers.
I think you go to a 9-race playoff and you go to 12 drivers. And at the end of the first 3 races, you go to 8 drivers. At the end of the second 3, you go to 4 drivers. And at the end of the last 3 races, you have a champion crowned. Like I said, I wouldn't do a road course because this car sucks on just about every type of track. It really sucks on short tracks. It really sucks on road courses.
1.5 miles pretty good.
1.5 miles good. So
We need separate
so we do
cars.
Atlanta, Charlotte, Kansas. Do Atlanta, Kansas, Charlotte. Charlotte, make that your final race.
So let's do this.
Crown the champion at Charlotte and do Atlanta 400 miles, Kansas 500 miles, and do 600-mile final race at Charlotte. 3 stages, not this stupid 4 stages out of 600, but
Short track should be an Xfinity car. We're going to change it.
ooh,
We're
I
going
like
to
this.
just have
I
the
like
hub.
it. Okay,
We're not going to have the wheel bolts.
okay.
Just the hub. So you change the wheels the same way. Everything else is Xfinity.
So I think
That will also encourage teams that don't have Xfinity teams to field an Xfinity team.
All right, here we go. You've enlightened me. You've given me this great idea. We're going to run Talladega, the last 3 races to determine the champion. Talladega in the Xfinity car, Martinsville in a late model stock car,
Roval in Xfinity?
and then we'll do Atlanta. We'll do Talladega in the Xfinity car, Kansas in the current car,
Right.
and then Phoenix in a late model stock car. 3
Let's
different
expand
cars.
to 4 and have a road course. Let's make them drive Porsches.
No, Porsches handle too well. I think that's the problem. I think if you're going to do a road course, you put them in the Xfinity car because it's hard to drive on a road course.
Well, let's throw them in a Porsche with a H pattern. And you know what? Automatic on the short courses.
No shifting.
No shifting.
I'm good with it.
Bumper cars.
Put them in go-karts.
Well, that'd be awesome.
A foot race.
Dude, how awesome.
A foot race at Phoenix would be more entertaining than the next gen car at Phoenix.
You know, in the town between my house and your house,
make them race from
Barnesville has a go-kart road course.
Do they really?
And there's an adult class. I mean, there's an age 45 and over class.
Can we rent a car and race on it?
You know what? I've been looking on Craigslist and on Facebook Marketplace.
We're going to start our own race team.
We can get an adult cart for $1,200 to $1,500.
The RC race car.
And you know what else? You can race almost anything in SCCA autocross.
We'll do autocross.
We can do a go-kart on it.
It'd be funny. Dude, that would be awesome.
A shifter cart.
I think it's time we change the point system up in NASCAR. We got to do something different.
We got to fix the car, too.
Denny and Truex miss. I don't think Truex should have made it this far. That's the playoff point thing, though, and I just don't like it.
Well, let me preface this.
Playoff points should go away after round 1. If we have to use them at all, after round 1, they go away. But
let me preface this with my new opinion from last year. I am a Hamlin fan.
Yeah.
I know the world has gone backwards, and they're no longer. I'm a Hamlin fan after having met him. Ghost Man, do you think Hamlin's a choker?
Ghost Man. Jack Skeleton.
Jack Skeleton, do you think Hamlin's a choker?
No.
You're saying yes and no.
No, yeah, I mean, it looks like
he's a great driver.
Yes, it looks like he chokes. I don't think he choked here.
He's a great driver.
Hamlin would
look at his wins.
He would be in the top 4 if he wouldn't have had a mechanical issue and a bad roval. So I just think, I don't know, man.
I'm going to wait.
I don't want to call
I'm going to say no, he's not choking. But if he retires without winning a championship, I'm going to have to reevaluate this.
I mean, it does seem like he chokes every time he gets close. It really does. But he's won so many races.
Mark Martin, Dale Jr., great race car drivers, right?
100%.
No champions. Are they chokers?
I mean, this was his best season, arguably. So,
I mean, I don't know.
Does he win a championship before he enters the Hall of Fame? Yes or no?
Like I said, I need to wait for his career to be over before I make a decision.
I think he's a champion. He's a Hall of Fame driver, no doubt. Well, you don't win that many races, that many Daytona 500. You
I don't think little Dale here choked. I think his prime was driving for Daddy before Daddy died.
I agree.
Or, no, actually, even a couple years after Daddy died.
I agree.
He was killing it.
I agree. I think Denny Hamlin,
and
if Denny Hamlin does not win the championship in 2024, he doesn't win a championship in his career.
He might win it as an owner.
I think Denny is in his prime. I think Denny is running at the best of his career right now. He is at the top of his game right now. I think if he goes out next season and wins a championship, it would not surprise me. But if he doesn't win it next year, he's done. He won't win one.
He will be, I'm going to say better than Mark. He will be there's what? How many people in the Hall of Fame that didn't win the championship? We got Mark Martin, Dale Jr. We got, if Denny doesn't win one, he's one of them. Denny will be the best driver at that point without a championship. Because he is Hall of Fame material.
Yes, 100%. Just like Mark Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Denny Hamlin is a modern day Mark Martin. So, all right, Jamie, we're going to Phoenix. Well, NASCAR's going to Phoenix, but we're going to review our decided to mix it up since we stayed in Arizona this year.
This year.
Earlier this year, we stayed
Beginning of this year.
at the Red Roof Inn
Kingman.
in Kingsman, Arizona.
I don't think there's an S in it.
Is there not?
I'm not sure, though.
So it was
One of us is wrong.
We either stayed in Kingman or Kingsman.
Yeah, one of those.
One of those two towns. We stayed at the Red Roof Inn.
But
and
on the map, it's the same place. Because
No,
we're both dyslexic.
what's funny is halfway there, we realized it was in Kingsman and not Flagstaff.
Right.
We were almost Arizona.
I think it was more like 100 miles away. I looked at the reservation and said, oh,
Yeah, it was.
it's not that
That
one.
was the best news I had of that day. Like, we are literally hallucinating, both of us. Neither one of us should have been behind the wheel at this point driving.
And we had already won our
I would
championship.
have arrested both of us for driving at this point. But
And we'd already won. What
I'm
was the
thinking
reason? We were
I'm
just
thinking-
tired of California and the stink?
yeah,
I
we
think
we
so.
wanted to get out of California
It
as
stunk.
fast as possible. So we left the Clash, headed to Arizona. We're dying tired. And Jamie's like, oh, we got to make it to Flagstaff. We're trying. He looks at the reservation and goes, oh, wait, I reserved a Red Roof Inn in Kingsman.
It's 120 miles closer.
It was like, I was like, oh, thank you, Lord, shining down on us right
That was
now.
the best crappy hotel ever.
So we're going to review that hotel. This is the hotel that had no remote control. The TV didn't work. There was no power cord going to the TV. I guess when you check in.
When you opened the door to the bathroom and hit the toilet bowl,
Yes. There
you
was
could bathe and go to the bathroom at the same time. Using the toilet, not using the tub.
They had bolted like a new countertop onto the wall with a sink in it. And I don't think that sink was hooked up right, but you could see the old outline for the old
We slept
countertop.
12 hours, though.
We slept phenomenal. Great night of sleep. That was the first time we slept more than 4 hours in 4 days.
And I don't think we even worried about bed bugs. We left our sleeping bags in the car. We just kind of crawled in.
No, I had my sleeping bag.
Did you?
Yes.
I may have. I don't remember, to be honest. I remember waking up and going, oh, crap, we got like 20 minutes till checkout.
Yeah. Everybody,
Mhm.
we checked in and it was packed. We left and we were the only car left.
The only humans we saw worked in the lobby.
And she was like covered in tattoos, 5,000 piercings in her face. She looked like a female version of the boy from Vegas Vacation. Like, she was all pinned shut, but nice as she could be. She got us in our room quick.
Bad things could have been happening there. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, would I stay there with my wife and kids?
No.
Would I stay there again on a Cannonball Run trip? Probably. I give it 3 stars.
Well, if
It's
we
a 2-star motel, but I'll give it 3. And it is a motel. Your car drives right up to the door.
it was
So
an
it's a
you entered
motel.
outside.
That's a motel, not a hotel.
The McDonald's was the cleanest McDonald's we ever in the same town.
Yeah, we went right across the street to there was those old people trying to figure out how to pump gas when we went into McDonald's, and they were still trying to figure out how to pump gas when we came out of the McDonald's. But yeah, nice
Well
McDonald's.
prepared McDonald's.
Yeah, I had great pancakes there. Great McDonald pancakes.
I
So-
probably had the sausage biscuit and a coffee. I think that's all I had.
So the
whole
Red
trip,
Roof
right?
Inn, you're giving it, how many stars would you
I
give
give
it?
it 3.
3. So if you're in Kingsman, Arizona, or Kingman, Arizona, however you want to pronounce it, that might be 2 cities. And
I'm sure
Yeah.
your mapping program you prefer on your phone will probably send you to the same town.
if you're driving from LA to Flagstaff, you're going to pass a town before Flagstaff called King.
Or Kings.
That's where the Red Roof Inn is.
It's right off the interstate.
You can stay there and not catch a disease, because we didn't catch any diseases from staying there. The shower, I mean, you wore your flip-flops, but
The door was kind of thin getting in there too. Did you notice that?
and it had the weird
You had to turn
the
sideways
shower
in?
head was like a water hose, had like a water hose connector on it.
Oh, I think you could. I didn't unhook it, but I think you could have unhooked it. and-
Yeah, it wasn't, but it was a water hose,
Yeah.
like legit green
Yeah.
water hose.
They made them out
It
of
was-
100-foot garden hose.
Everybody got use out of that hose. It was sketch, but
The town didn't look that great either, though. It was flat out in the middle of the desert.
I
Not
think
that we saw much of it.
it was very brown, like dusty, sandy brown, had that like your hat brown. That's what it kind of reminded me of. It was before the beautiful oranges of Arizona really set in.
You know what was funny though? we watch movies and stuff, old westerns, tumbleweeds roll through town.
Yeah.
We had to dodge tumbleweeds.
Oh, no doubt.
We had all the way to just before Oklahoma.
Yeah.
They were like crossing the. One of them was bigger than the car.
Yeah, that one in Texas had a leash on it. Somebody walking it. It was so big.
At least their tumbleweeds are bigger there.
So
My
yeah,
penis didn't grow at all.
No,
I thought it'd get bigger in Texas.
it didn't.
Well, I don't think I remembered to look.
Too tired.
Yeah.
Texas was a crap hole.
I don't like Texas.
I didn't like the panhandle of Texas at all. I did think it was cool to see the red lights on the windmills as they blinked together in the middle of the night. Looked like aliens were taking over. I do think that would suck living there, though. That would definitely ruin.
It took forever to get. Luckily, we stopped in Arizona, but it took forever to go through the rest of the half of Arizona,
New Mexico,
New Mexico,
Texas,
and Oklahoma.
and Oklahoma.
Texas and Oklahoma.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
We come through Texas that night, and it was like we were dying to stay away.
That was like-
that was rough.
Driving to Savannah from Macon.
Yeah,
There's
there's
just
nothing.
a straight line. There's nothing to watch.
Not
Nothing
even a
to
gas
do.
station. Horrible. So yeah. All right, we are racing in Phoenix on NBC this weekend. Coverage starts around 2:30, 3 o'clock. Don't miss it. It's a 1 mile track. The last race here earlier this year. I'm going to point out our championship 4 as I go through the top 10. So William Byron won here earlier this year. Ryan Blaney finished second. That's your two of your drivers. Reddick was third. Larson, another championship guy, he finished fourth. Harvick finished fifth. Christopher Bell finished sixth. Top 6 at the last race here have your top 4 or your final 4 drivers in it. Briscoe finished 7th. Kyle Busch finished 8th. Alex Bowman finished 9th. And Josh Berry in the 9 car finished 10th.
You've been on a roll the last 3 weeks, Brad.
Yeah, so the way we do our fantasy picks, this is our last pick for the year. Lowest number wins. Last week I had Christopher Bell, Chase Non-Factor Elliott, and Kyle Larson. That was a total of 30 points because of Chase Non-Factor Elliott. Killed me. You had William Byron, Kevin Harvick, and Denny Hamlin for a total of 32 points last week. So I won, meaning you get to pick first again this week. You are 93 points to the good on me.
I think I'm going to win.
You have to
Unless
pick.
I get the
You
bottom
gotta pick
3.
34th, 35th, and 36th for me to win. And
Okay,
I have to
hold
pick
it.
1, 2, and 3.
I'm going to give you a chance.
All right.
Will you let me pick 3 from the bottom?
You can pick 3 bottom feeders picking in the regular.
I'm going to go Suarez, J.J. Yelly, and B.J. McLeod.
You trying to give?
I think I'll still beat you.
No, pick the regular way.
All right, we'll go regular.
You can pick. There's crappy drivers in the top 10.
I'm going with Kyle Larson since I picked him to be the champion.
All right. Harrison Burton. Chase Elliott.
You know what? I miss the old Ross since Mr. Hendrick talked to him. I'm picking Ross.
All right.
Ross needs to, you know what? He needs to balance it. He's gone too extreme for me. I was a fan of his last year.
Oh, he's definitely went sliced bread.
Yeah. He's not balanced. He's going from he's bipolar. We need to balance his ass out. All right. The bottom. You
can pick B.J. McLeod now.
They all kind of suck down here, dude.
Go Daniel Suarez.
You know, I thought LaJoy would do better. He was running up front there in Martinsville.
He had a moment.
I'm going LaJoy.
All right.
We're gonna go with Janet.
All right, Janet. Jamie's got LaJoy for you this weekend. All right. Me. I am going to go with Ryan Blaney since I picked him to win the championship. And I'm going to go out of 11th through 20th. I'm going to go with William Byron.
It's a jungle out there. Did you just hear the monkey screaming?
That's something.
Holy cow.
That's a bird, dude.
Did we go back in time while we were recording to dinosaur days?
The bottom 21st. Who'd you go with, Corey?
Corey.
I'm going to go with Reddick. Tyler Reddick.
Tyler, he didn't show, did he?
No, not at all. But I'm going to go with him this week. He's got a shot. Poor Ryan Newman, man. He looked rough after that race. He was
He's
passing
a big
out.
boy.
I mean, even William Byron had
It was like 86 degrees up there.
William Byron said his vision was getting blurry and he was about to pass out. It was so hot at the racetrack. So
maybe they ought to tell him not to turn off their fans on a red flag.
Well, he had his cooling fan was broke and it was blowing hot air instead of cool air on his face. It was reverse polarity, so it was blowing hot air versus cold air.
That would suck. It sound like you know something there.
Sound like I know something.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I got this week. You got anything else?
Well, that's it. Well, actually, next week we want you to save our podcast for last because we will be recording last.
Yeah, we're recording on Thursday of next week.
Our day jobs require us to work.
Tampa. We'll be in Tampa for a few days, so we're going to record the final episode of the season, or the final race episode of the season at least.
Now, Brad's driving and I'm flying. I want you to start your stopwatch on your iPhone when you leave the house.
When I leave my house, okay. I'm driving because my flying experience sucks. I hate flying.
I'm flying because I can read a book while everybody's driving me around.
You could read a book if you rode with me.
I don't get car sick in an airplane. I get
You don't get car. We drove across the whole country and you didn't get car sick. I don't want to hear.
I didn't read a book at all.
Well, don't read. We're going to listen to an audio book.
I'll set my timer. Brad believes I'm going to get canceled. And not because of what I say, but because of my plane.
I hope your flight gets so delayed you don't show up till Wednesday.
You turn off your stopwatch, parking lot of the hotel.
All right. You'll beat me. But
how do you know? You said you're not going to fly because it's a dumpster fire.
I'll have a relaxing, peaceful drive down.
I'm flying a Georgia-based airline. They're going to take care of me. Thank you, Delta.
Good for you.
If there's a Delta employee listening,
thank you.
Thank you in advance for getting me to Tampa on time.
No.
Because we also have a phone conference.
Yeah, we got to get there on time for that.
Well, I replied maybe because I'm flying.
All right. Well, thanks to everybody who listens. Thanks for watching the show. We appreciate everybody who shares on social media, shares the show with your friends. Greatly appreciate it. Make sure you follow us on Twitter or X. We're at Car Backwards. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button. If you're not watching and you're listening, make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. Check us out on Spotify. Make sure you rate us and follow us there. Subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts and leave us a review like Brandon did. Send us a DM or you can email us at
Thank you, Brandon, for the review. We need another review.
Yeah.
That's not Brandon.
Can somebody else please review us on Apple so we can have Brandon and we'll still use Brandon. It'll be Brandon and so Janet, go review us on Apple Podcasts, please.
Eric.
Or Eric. Yeah, somebody.
Or the Leprechaun.
Or Deb. Somebody.
Deb's husband, the Leprechaun.
Anybody. Review us on Apple Podcasts and let us know about it so we can throw your name in here with Brandon's because Brandon's lonely over here by himself. Make sure you DM us or you can email us at racecarbackwardspod@gmail.com. We will read it and we will answer your questions.
Well, if you DM me,
he won't.
And I don't know the password to our email, so Brad will forward it to me a week after you send it.
Why do you complain like that?
I'm not complaining.
I've given you the password numerous times. You just forget. It's on you, not me. And check out our merch store. It's at racecarbackwards.
I don't want the responsibility.
Exactly. racecarbackwards.threadless.com. You can check out our merch store there. We got some new items we're currently working on. We hope to have them out soon.
And since we're not profitable and none of you go to our website, I ain't paying for it to be hosted next year.
Yep, we're just going to get rid of the website. You can interact with us on X, Twitter, Facebook. I'm on Facebook. Jamie,
I'm on Facebook.
Struggles with Facebook, but
I don't like it. It's not a struggle.
It is a struggle.
I hate Facebook.
But other than that, y'all have a great week, and we will see you next Thursday. Don't forget, next Thursday.
Or Friday. Or Saturday.
I'll get it all out on Thursday next week. So y'all have a great week. See you guys. Bye. Happy Halloween.
Don't think we get home till Wednesday night.
We'll be good.
All right. Oh, well, here, let's do a ode back to Friends and Chandler. Come on, Brad. Like you're around the fountain.
Like you're having a seizure.
Doesn't it look like...
Looks like you're having a seizure.
Doesn't that fountain look like San Francisco and not New York?
I don't know.
Watch it tonight with your wife. She will love you for it. Say, hey, honey, I wanna watch some Friends.
She don't even watch it now.
I want to watch some Friends in honor of Chandler Bing.
All right. Say bye, Jamie. Let's go. Bye, everybody.
You just listened to Race Car spelled backwards. For that, we thank you.